Hi 7Xers, this is the video that goes along with assignment number 11. We are still solving equations today, but we're going to look at some equations that people often find strange because either these equations don't have any possible solutions that will work, or they have an infinite number of solutions, meaning any value you plugged in for the variable would make the equation true. So let's start by looking at an equation like x equals x plus 2. I want you to think about this equation for a second. You're trying to find a value for that variable so that the value equals the same as that number plus 2. Does that even make sense? I mean, think about plugging in numbers for x. Does 5 equal 5 plus 2? Does 6 equal 6 plus 2? No way. What if you even plugged in 0? 0 equals 0 plus 2? Definitely not. Or negative? Does negative 2 equal negative 2 plus 2? Is there a value that you could plug in for x so that that value is the same as the number plus 2? Definitely not. This equation has no, has no solutions. Now, sometimes people don't realize that, and so they go ahead and they try to solve the equation by subtracting x from both sides. Well, if you subtract x from both sides, that's gone. You have nothing left on that side, so let me just put a 0 there. And on this side, you have 2. So the equation says 0 equals 2. That doesn't even make any sense. There's another indicator that there's no solutions. You ended up at the end with something that doesn't make any sense. Now let's think about another one. What if I gave you x plus 5 equals x minus 1? Same idea. Is there a value that you can add 5 to and you get the same answer as if you took that value and subtracted 1? Never going to work. And again, if you try to subtract x from both sides, they're gone on this side, they're gone on that side. You end up with 5 equals negative 1, which makes no sense at all. And so there's another indication that there's no solutions. Now, what if I gave you 2 times x plus 3 equals 2, let me erase here, times x plus 4? Well, if you distribute it here, you get 2x plus 6 equals 2x plus 8. And again, hopefully you're looking at that and you're realizing, wait a second, I can't take a number, multiply it by 2 and add 6 and get the same answer as if I took that number, multiplied it by 2 and added 8. This equation has no solutions. But again, if you didn't realize that and you tried to solve it, when you subtract 2x from both sides, now the x's are gone and you get 6 equals 8. That doesn't make any sense. And so these equations all have no solutions. Now let's consider a different type of example. What if I said to you, x plus 5 has to come out to equal x plus 5? Well, what value could you fill in for x that when you add 5 to it, you get the same answer as that value plus 5? I hope you're realizing any value you filled in for x would work here. 1 plus 5 is the same as 1 plus 5. 2 plus 5 is the same as 2 plus 5. Even if you filled in negatives, negative 4 plus 5 is the same as negative 4 plus 5. Because these two equations are exactly the same on both sides, any value of x, any value you filled in for x would work. This equation has infinite solutions. Now, if you didn't see that right off the bat and you tried to solve it by subtracting x from both sides, you get 5 equals 5, which makes perfect sense. 5 does equal 5. Anytime it's exactly the same on both sides, that's infinite solutions. So what if I gave you 3 times 2x plus 4 equals 6 times x plus 2. So let's distribute so we see what we have. This side gives us 6x plus 12. This side equals 6x plus 12. So your equation says 6x plus 12 equals 6x plus 12. Any number you filled in for x would work there because the two sides of the equal sign say exactly the same thing. This equation has infinite solutions. Again, though, if you kept going and you tried to solve that by subtracting 6x from both sides, you'd get 12 equals 12, which 12 does equal 12. It makes perfect sense. That's when an equation has infinite solutions. So let's just go over that one more time because I feel like that's really weird and people often get confused. If the equation has something like 2x plus 5, sorry, I keep hitting the phone, equals 2x plus 3. In other words, the variable and the coefficient are the same on both sides, but you're adding or subtracting different numbers, that's when there's no solution. Just like if you had x plus 4 equals x minus 1. Both sides have an x, but in both cases, you're adding or subtracting two different constants with them. If you had 3x plus 7 equals 3x minus 5, that's also no solution because they both have 3 x's there, but one is adding a 7 to it, the other is subtracting a 5 from it. If your equation is exactly the same on both sides, like 3x plus 2 equals 3x plus 2, that's when there's infinite solutions. If it's exactly the same on both sides, so like x plus 5 equals x plus 5, or even something like 4x equals 4x. Anytime it's exactly the same on both sides, that's infinite solutions. I hope this helps you with today's assignment. If you have any questions on this, please let me know. Have a great day.